Hello and welcome once again to Wandering Monster, America's test table, where we don't playtest games, no. We break them upon our back as the fires of eldritch hell rise up. And I haven't read this game yet. I don't know what's happening. Oh shit, there's a fire. So, look, I'm John Baldisberger.
I'm Charles Bernard.
Ian Servas.
Mr. Paschke, and
Bridget Brave.
Who are you?
I know. It's shocking.
Five. There are four of us. I count five.
Let's start things off.
I don't know how to count.
Well, thankfully, five is like still.
That's one hand. You're right.
Yeah.
And handled this.
Yeah,
this
so
Baldisberger.
one hand's worth of hosts is what we have now. We are pleased to announce that Bridget Brave is joining our cast permanently. Yeah!
Very happy to be here.
Bridget, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a Libra. No, I'm
Ooh, start off weak.
I know. Sorry. I am a horror writer and attorney who lives in southern Missouri. I was very excited about this when I first heard about it, so I immediately jumped on a guest opening, and I'm tough to get rid of. I'm a lot like black mold, once it's there, it's there.
I want to say that I know we kind of have gotten into a habit of having a guest like twice and then making them a cast member. That stops now. Bridget caps us off at 5, and we are just so extremely happy to have her with us.
Our family is complete.
Yes.
And speaking of families of the type that you do not want to have, tonight we'll be playing a game that I am as excited as hell about. This is another joint from Wayne Robert, who is the creator of our Golden Tentacle Game of the Year award-winning game Blaster Dungeon Plumbers. In a radical departure from Dungeon Plumbers, except in that it's an old-school Renaissance game, Pan, His Majesty in Yellow, which is tonight's game, is heavy on the Lovecraft Chambers mythos. So if you've heard of Hastur, Lost Carcosa, The King in Yellow, all that stuff, then you are going to be stoked tonight. And if you haven't, I bet you have heard of an impish little fellow who might have wandered through a very racist Disney movie in your childhood named Peter Pan. What you may not know is this. So, I got the opportunity to interview Wayne Robert about this project, and that interview is actually on wanmoncast.com if you just look under articles under my name. What he was up to here, he actually gave me book recommendations, which when a game creator does that, I fall instantly in love. And he was like, have you ever actually read those Peter Pan books? And I said, no, I've watched the movie and saw the musical. That was about it. And he's like, well, go back and read them. Start with Peter Pan in Kensington Gardens and then read Peter and Wendy. And I did. And by the end of it, I was like, holy shit, how has this been hiding in plain sight in children's literature all these years? It's wonderful. It's dark. It's fucked up. It's full of fairies the way that they used to be in fairy stories, which is to say, you can't really trust them. And it's got basically cosmic horror elements. And tonight's game takes those two things and laces them beautifully together. And with all of that said, Mr. Servas, Ian, our forever GM, will you please do the honors? And Mr. Paschke, will you take us to our game screen, please?
Absolutely.
Well, that is a fantastic encapsulation of what to expect. This game is available in 2 different delicious flavors. If you haven't been completely put off by OGL, there is the 5e version of this, or if you want to take a step back towards the golden era and play this in old school essentials, which we are this evening, that is also available. So they're both kind of in drive-through RPG. Just to then you're clear that we are going to be playing it in the old school essentials rules. So those rules are very precise and really invoke that classic game style. We do need to take some liberties with just the format of our very short playthrough. So you might be wondering why they skip over these little specific rules. It's just podcast magic. So, but we will get into the thick of things by introducing our colorful cast of characters. One thing we're going to have to figure out is the order. Since now we have 4 people, are you keeping with the ancient oath there, Charles?
Yeah, I mean, until we get new tablets handed down,
No.
Charles shall go first. I tonight will be playing a character that I'll be lovingly referring to as Cold Ligula, but their actual name is Caligara North, Naval Officer. My class is Fighter. I like things icy cold, as you'll discover. And other than that, you'll just have to hang in there to find out more about me.
I guess I'll go. I'm playing Greylock. Threed. He's a magic user. Not a big deal. Just might not see me if I decide to go invisible. It's fine. Don't worry about that. What you should worry about is my 2 daggers. I got 1 and 2.
The real question is, how long is your magic user beard? Can you show us?
It's longer than my real life beard. Let's start with that.
Mm.
So, real life beard, about an inch. Him,
All you need.
Good 15 inches, curls up like the stereotypical magic wizard beard. But here's the twist: it's split down the middle, so it's 2 curled up, 15-inch long little beards.
I love it. A forked beard that curls is a wonderful thing. I forgot to add one thing at the beginning. I'm just going to break in here real quick. We will actually be giving away 1 code for a free copy of the game at the end of tonight's show. So if you are tuned in right now, stick around and you could be the lucky winner and get a copy of the game for free.
It's worth it.
All right. That was tough to follow, but I am Thalos Darktide. I'm the Storm Priest of Poseidon. And I, instead of having feet, have 2 mermaid tails that I walk on and they kind of flop around. So I just want to add that in. I'm a cleric, and my special talent is that I can turn undead. So look out for that. I'm sure it's very, very attractive when I do that.
I am Dravenin Shinderwood. I am a kind of stocky fellow. I don't have hair on my face, but under my chin, right in this area. I wear a very fancy, slightly wide brim hat. And I am a gentleman and a nice guy.
And with that, we'll kind of snap in media res. All of you are somewhere. Exactly where, you're not sure. In fact, you're not sure what time of day it is, or when, or how, or what you are. Your vision is obscured by thick, billowing white fog. And in between snippets of it, when it abates for just a second, you get the sensation that you are on a boat in an ocean, but looking towards the horizons, there's nothing but an infinitely black gulf with strange alien stars peering in the distance. And then walls of fog. They part again, and you see a vast, uncaring wasteland, jutting angular black rocks, blood-red suns, shadows that are far too long, and in the distance, something monolithic, perhaps like a throne, a figure seated on it, wearing tattered yellow robes. Seemingly, the robes are both empty and filled with an infinite dread that just pulls at your inner strings. Walls of fog again. Fog parts, and you now see a vision of a giant crocodile. Somehow doesn't exactly capture this image of this thing, for it is a crocodile stretched over miles. there's a strange, ominous ticking coming from its heart, and it seems to look at you before another wall of fog, and it breaks again. And all of a sudden, you realize that this isn't a vision of something, like a dreamscape. You are passing through a giant wall of fog on a boat. You're not even sure how you got here. The mist is cold. It's clinging to you. There are people running on the deck, screaming bloody murder. One old man with a long beard is stabbing another person in the back, just gibbering with glee with his eyes milked over. The five of you seem to be a little most further away from the fog, as if maybe you've been trying to outrun it and you just don't remember it. But everyone else that's kind of in the middle of this thick fog bank is just absolutely losing their minds. You can see up ahead that the fog is parting at the bow of the ship, and you can see beautiful blue ocean and sunny sky and islands in the distance. But the rest of the ship behind you is just absolutely engulfed in madness. You realize that you have equipment and item on you. You don't even really completely remember your names. There's this foggy bits of who you are and why you're here. And that beard, you can't forget that beard. Like, that's a weird ass beard. But like everything else is just like totally foggy about your situation.
Well, I am dressed in a naval officer uniform, I notice. So I still have no goddamn clue what's going on. But I start looking around to see if there's anybody else in a uniform nearby or in the group, or...
You say you're looking nearby for
anyone who's in a uniform who doesn't seem to be losing their shit.
You see a person that is, you see like epaulets on his shoulder, and he is frantically wrestling a cannon. And you're not sure what he's doing, but he's wrapped himself around the outside, and he's like smacking the side of it.
I like that. I don't know what he's got planned, but it's going to be awesome. Okay, yeah. That's all I got.
Other than that, you're noticing that these people that are running around the ship are deckhands mostly. There's a couple of people that are just kind of off staring off the side, and some other people are drooling. You start now starting to smell smoke coming from underneath the lower levels of the ship. Maybe somewhere something's on fire. Your ship parts a little further through the fog, and you can see that there are trails of smoke coming out around the sides of the ship.
Yeah, I don't think that's good for us. I think we should try to get off the ship.
Are there lifeboats?
So when you go and you look on the sides, you see that there are some lifeboats. There are 2 left. You feel like there should have been more, but you're not exactly sure.
They're expensive, man. Yeah, like I'm gonna start, since these yuckety yucks are closest to me, and I just have that like Navy discipline in me. I'm gonna start officiously barking orders. Hey, everybody in the lifeboat! And see if they come along with me, because I'm getting the hell in the lifeboat.
I would like you to make me the first roll of the evening and make me a charisma check. Let's see if you say that you don't know what you're going on, so you have to convey that confidence and give that order.
Oh man, it's all you have to do is fake it, and you've got it made.
That's true.
Here we go. That is a 16.
All right. For you, that is just below your threshold. You needed a 15 or under. So there's one guy who listens to you, and he looks to be an old deckhand. He's got a hook for a hand, and he tries to salute himself, and like he's forgotten that he has his hook, and so he just makes a bloody gouge above his eyebrow, and he faithfully jumps into the lifeboat. The man who was wrestling the cannon, you hear like the sound of a hiss as if he's lit the wick, and he points and he goes, "Did you meet me, boss?"
No, you got it. You're doing a good job over there. Keep that up.
He salutes and he like slips a little bit off the cannon, and there is this loud thundering roar as he slips just in front of the cannon as it goes off, and he just splatters across the horizon. A huge hole breaks in the side of the ship, and you can now see like fire is now coming out the bow or out the side of the ship where this hole has been made. So we have a motion from your
Hang
superior
on.
officer to get
Hang
into
on
a
a second.
lifeboat.
Are you trying to tell me that traveling by cannonball doesn't work the way it does in the film Baron von Munchausen?
You have, I mean, you just have to make your roll, I think.
Okay.
So,
go ahead.
no, go for it.
I was going to get in the lifeboat and then cast Charm Person on the guy to convince him that, like, hey, I'm your new friend, and you're going to row us by yourself because you like me, right? We're
And he's
cool.
obviously the best equipped for the job. Yeah.
I have a beard.
No. I mean, the guy you're gonna make row has a hook for one of his hands.
No, we're both, yeah. He puts the hook down and he just works the other arm.
Okay.
So the lot of you could fit into one of these two available rowboats. Do all of you pile into one? Do you split, or do some of you stay on this ship to see if you can salvage it?
I'm not staying on the ship. I'm out of here.
Nah, I think that all of us are off put by the dude's bloody head and bloody hook hand, and timidly tiptoe into the second boat to Castaway.
Do you guys leave me with bloody hook hand guy?
Oh, did you already get in with him?
Yeah.
I thought so. Wait, will Hookhand fit in there with us?
All of you could fit in one of these sizable lifeboats,
Okay.
or you could split them into two.
No.
It's
Let's all get in there with the guy. In that case, since Pashke's already in there. How do you guys feel, or do you want to take a second craft?
No, I'm gonna clamber into this lifeboat and kind of ask quietly, do you guys also have fucked up feet?
Hey,
Need to know.
guys, is this is bad, right?
Not normal, right? I'm not thinking that.
Well, now I'm thinking about like an average sailor, if they were to just pull off a boot and show you their feet, if that would qualify as equally as fucked up as a fin, you know?
True.
So all of you are getting into the same lifeboat, it sounds.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay. So you push off the side, and Greylock, you've worked your charm person, and it seemed very effective. In fact, this person just seems to just absorb your every word as you're casting the spell, still kind of in a daze. And he salutes you, thinking you're an officer, so he just kind of cuts just a deeper gouge across his forehead. Doesn't seem to notice that there's blood running in his eyes. It takes his hook, sinks into one of the oars, and begins to row you away from the your ship. You're noticing, curiously, as you pull away, that along the hull there look to be cannon blasts, and that have just torn huge holes through your ship. And you don't know how this got there. In fact, when you look across the horizon, you're not seeing any other ships near you. In the distance, you can start seeing like clusters of islands, and it looks like they're almost surrounding a larger land mass. The anything that any of you are wanting to do with your skills and regarding your ship, your spells, your equipment, you find that despite this entire panic of this scenario, you have all the equipment that is on your character sheets on you, as if you've packed for this moment, but you're not sure why.
Mm-hmm. Well, turns out I'm not in a naval uniform, even though I'm a naval officer. We'll
You may have
pretend.
stripped it from someone during the
Yeah,
chaos, and
yeah.
maybe it's like is it one size too big or one size too small?
Does
It's,
whose name is on the underwear?
Mm.
I've regrettably forgotten how to read, and like the top is way too big, but the bottom is way too small. I think I might be the one who's oddly shaped though. Let's see here. Yeah, okay. I think I'm good right now. I don't think I need to modify the ship in any specific way.
Can I cure the guy's head wound?
Absolutely.
Please do.
Yeah,
So-
I don't want to look at that.
What type of prayer do you say as you cast your heal?
I call upon the Lord Poseidon to send his healing waves.
Definitely call upon the god of storms.
Yes, to
Good idea.
seal up this gash in his head that he
It
has.
works in Age of Sigmar.
I mean,
I guess that so you're taking seawater and just splashing it.
yeah, just like
into-
throwing it at him. Let's see how that
Saltwater,
goes.
yeah.
Good. We are good at this.
It's curative.
So you put your hands on him and you invoke the name of the sea god, and you feel like there might be some gurgling under your boat. You're not sure, maybe it's the ship as it's starting to slowly sink. But you see that his head wound seals up. It's got a real crusty scab over it, but you think that it's going to be okay. He thanks you by saluting and just cuts like a small line through it. And
Can I grab his hand before he successfully
make
salutes?
me a dexterity check here.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to grab for that, but
Hold on. I'm doing a thing here.
oh yeah, you are a dexterous
I-
MFer. Huh?
I am,
You
in
are a
fact,
thief.
a dexterous man.
That is true.
Let's see here. My searching. There it is.
On Baltusburger,
Right on. Exactly upon.
All right. So you grab his hook before he scratches himself, and you
I lean in close and I say, "Don't. It's for your health."
he looks
First one of the
confused,
year.
and he scratches his head with his stump as you realize that you have this hook in your hand.
I pocket it.
All
My
right.
hook now.
Um,
I am the hook hand now.
the man is kind of confused as he's trying now to row with his stump,
Mhm.
and he's not having a very good go at it.
Let's try harder then.
I've cast
Okay,
Charm
I'm gonna
Person
roll.
on him.
I'm gonna row. I gently unseat him from his position, and I take up the oars. I'm a naval person, so yeah. Let's do this thing. I put my back into it, me hearties.
So as you kind of distance yourself further and further away from that wall of fog, you start to get a little bit of a hazy remembrance back. Something about a trip out to the far ocean, to some remote place, looking for something, and then you just have these little snippets from those weird visions that a man in a throne in a just desolate kingdom, a giant crocodile, and you're not sure exactly what it means. As you are rowing, you see that you're kind of in the middle of this vast sea. Your visions, you look behind you and around from where your ship was, as you see it slowly starting to sink down. It's almost like everything is almost encapsulated in a wall of fog around this place, as if you're almost at a perpetual always eye of a storm. But it's quiet and it's sunny, and it's an oddly beautiful day, and the sea is almost uncomfortably still in a way.
What's the nearest beach or port where we can put in?
So you are probably an hour's row, and you see that you have a couple of different islands that you could approach, as if you're almost coming into like a U-shaped archipelago of various islands. When you look to your distance to the north, you see that there is a small island with tall, lush palm trees and a wide, sandy beach. Next to it, there are 2 jagged outcroppings of rock. To your east from here, you see a much larger landmass. It looks like it's almost like a long island that extends almost in a chain around you, as if it loops from the east, kind of hooking down, going to the southwest from you, almost like a big like check mark. And you can see that there are areas that are more rocky with tall, almost mountainous-esque protrusions of rock, or what looks to be like verdant forest with like a sandy, rocky beach.
Jagged rocks.
Jagged rocks.
That's my vote.
Okay.
Okay, let's go for Jagged Rocks.
Yay.
Let's do
Who
it.
am I to fight against the tide here?
You see, as you approach Jagged Rocks, you see the thief in the long cloak pull something out of his cloak. Because I can say that word twice in a row, and it's fine. Don't worry about it.
It's a fun word to say and a fun thing to wear.
I am very curious. Does anyone else see what you're pulling out, Draven, or is this a?
That's up to them. Do they want to try to see what I'm pulling out? Are they
Yeah,
checking? Are they trying to gander
I'm
my?
curious.
Check out your
It
cloak
seems to be a
action.
scroll of some sort.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and ask. What's your name again, John's character?
Draven.
Draven.
No,
I'm gonna ask Draven if he's looking at a map and if he'd care to share any tips on where we should put in.
I prefer I prefer to not make my presence known if we don't have to. May not be friendly these shores. Head for
All
the
right.
rocks. Ain't gonna be no one to greet us that we don't want to.
Got it. And luckily for us, I believe I have a grappling hook. Let's see. I have a large inventory. Sorry. Yeah, it says right here, large sack. So it's full of stuff.
Don't worry too much about it.
Okay.
I can keep us safe.
Okay. Crowbar, steel mirror, tinderbox. I have rope, but I don't think I have a grappling hook. So I'm just gonna try and lasso me one of them jagged rocks.
Don't worry about it,
imagine-
Pete.
Oh,
Draven
okay.
repeats.
You got it? All right, cool.
Of course.
Okay.
Ian, as we get close to the jagged rocks, and everyone else is kind of being afraid that we are about to crash our little dinghy, I unfurl the scroll and transmute rock to mud, giving us a soft landing.
Now
Cool.
that is a very clever use for that.
That is.
Okay, so that actually takes care of that role. So you are exhausted after all of this rowing, and you're starting to see your ship just not slowing at all. You're running towards this beach of just jagged fist-shaped rocks that look like it is like punch a hole through your boat and sink even before you get to a safe landing. But as you see your companion in a trench coat kind of wave his hands, it turns into a thick velvety mud that you just slide in through, and it securely locks your boat into this rocky shore. You see it from right where you are here. You get a good stock of your environment. You see that to your immediate in front of you, which you're starting to get a feeling from looking at this kind of odd sun, is something you want to call east. So along this east coast, you see that there is a very dense, thick wood. The trees themselves are almost they're pushed together, and there is a dark hush, almost like it's pregnant with possibilities or just something almost like primeval. Right to the north of you is where you see the forest kind of thins a bit and it gets a little bit of a higher elevation. You think in the distance you see some things that look like maybe buildings or possibly houses perched between some houses and rock. And the shoreline extends to a solid outcropping or extension of rock, almost like a peninsula. At the very end of it, there is a tall column of rock, on top of which you see that there is green grass or maybe thick moss and very odd small huts. You think, but you're not sure, that there's something maybe bright red moving up there, maybe like some type of birds or little red, I don't know, mushrooms running around.
Now that's Sean content, but that's not necessarily Draven content. But I want you to know that I object to mushroom men and mushrooms moving when John is not playing a John character.
Well, do any of you have a spyglass or something that you could use to kind of maybe get a better lay of things?
See, my plan was to find a high spot because I've got like basically a signal mirror. But I don't know that I have a spyglass.
Charles, this will make you a little mad. I have 2 grappling hooks.
God damn it.
And a pocket hook, right?
Somebody,
Yeah. I also have a pocket
More
hook.
hook
if you
than
need
man
it.
at this point.
somebody mispacked my large sack is what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't blame me for the contents of your sack.
I only blame our divine creator, whom I devoutly praise. Does anybody have a spyglass?
No, I have nothing of
Um,
use right now.
No, I don't.
All right, so what is the highest point nearest to us? Like the jagged rocks of the shore. Like I've been to many a jagged rocky shore, and often there's like a pretty good sized outcropping or something.
Mhm.
Is there anything like that nearby that I could climb to use my signal mirror just to see if I can like detect any signs of life, if anything flashes back from up there?
So there's none of the rocks immediately here that are taller than any of these trees that are looming in the tree line. That would give you a better height advantage, but then you're approaching that very thick, dark tree line. If there might be any type of unfriendlies or weird beasts. Do you want to risk climbing a tree? Otherwise, you could take this was like across this rock peninsula and try to climb that rock tower. I mean, the thing is a mammoth towering thing about you, and it's beyond maybe some of the very, very far distance. Maybe there might be some mountains. I mean, hours and hours to the north from here. This is going to be the tallest thing near you.
What do you guys think?
I think it's safer if we stick together. We don't know what we're dealing with on this land. So, yeah, if you're going up there, I think we should all go up there.
To be fair, we don't really know what we're dealing with each other either. You could be a son of a bitch for all I know.
Well, I think we're all mind wiped, so you might have been a son of a bitch, but I'm not sure if you are anymore, you know?
You take that back.
Are we
All right,
bringing in
you-
our
you-
friend?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I straight up forgot about it. Let's call
He's
him.
not forgotten about you. In fact, this man hasn't really said anything. Is still just clinging to your side, Greylock.
Oh,
He's just kind
wanna,
of giving this
like-
very gummy smile because he's
Aw.
missing most of his teeth.
Greylock, you
Hook.
should give him a name.
Lieutenant Hook? I don't know. That's a terrible name. I don't like that. Someone
Well,
else.
just remind him of what he's lost.
Do you say hook out loud like that?
I feel like I shouldn't, but because you said that, I feel like I therefore have to. I look at our friend. I'm like, hey, Mr. Hook, can you take this end of my rope, scamper up there so we can use it to climb more easily, buddy,
When-
pal, friend?
When
Huh?
when you say Mr. Hook with kind of that sense of a little bit of authority, because you're still kind of in this commanding thing, this is a very clear day. There are not any clouds or it's a beautiful, perfectly sunny day. You hear in the distance somewhere rolling thunder for just a brief second. So you can't even see it, but you feel there's a little drop in pressure.
So you guys have seen Young Frankenstein, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I was
Frau
worried that you were going to
Buka.
think of us doing that. There's no horse winning in the background. Frankenstein.
Dang it.
All right. I'm gonna take that as a sign that this hook person, who I'm not going to say that word out loud again, is probably somebody we shouldn't be fucking with right away. Yeah.
He likes me.
I'm not
Oh,
giving his hook
no.
back.
I mean, when you say that name, I think that there must be something attached to it other than just this good-natured gummy fellow.
So we'll call him Gummy then.
Gummy works.
Gummy is good.
Yeah.
Lieutenant Gummy?
Lieutenant Gummy. He's a good boy.
Lieutenant Gummy. Excellent. I think he outranks me now.
I should tell you that because my wife has known my little brother who joined the Navy since he was 4, she continues to call him Lieutenant Nuggy.
Aw.
That's great.
So are you instructing this man? Are you giving this man a name? And are
And
you
a purpose.
and restate your purpose, since he was very cowed by the sudden peal of thunder.
Hey there, hey, champ. Hey, buddy. Hey, sport. Look. How long has it been? How long does Charm Person Cat last in this game engine? Should I
That is
recast it?
great. Let me see what. Hold on. Let me check to see your level and the length of effect. You've been rowing approximately for at least an hour, so you will have that last until 1 or more days. Basically,
Wow.
if you're intelligent. Oh, yep.
Okay.
You
He
can
is
see by
yours.
his look in his eyes that he is definitely going to be your friend for this day, and he is just looking at you like a puppy dog.
Hey, buddy. Can you take this rope and scamper on up there for me so that we can use it to get up there? Because you've got those strong arms. You helped row me, and I really just appreciate you. And you can do me this one more favor, pal. That would be awesome. Thank you in advance.
Petition to give him back his hook for the purpose of climbing.
Seconded.
What hook?
Maybe one
I
of the
know no hook.
grappling hooks.
Wait, could we?
then.
Yeah, could we give him
Jesus.
both grappling hooks so he
I'm
can just?
sorry. I'm sorry. I thought we were making decisions as a team, that this wasn't some sort of communist regime where I had to give my hard-earned things to this man.
Wait a minute. Making decisions as a team, not communist?
Look,
Yeah, I think this guy might be the previously mentioned son of a bitch. I think that might be what's going on here.
you know what they say. He who melt the son of a bitch dealt the son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right.
All right.
So,
I tried.
Champ Buddy Sport advances towards the rock wall with his hook. Sorry, did you say? So is he getting the hook back then for sure?
Absolutely not.
All right. Okay. So he is stump and rope. So he advances down this stony walkway, kind of like a peninsula, towards this sheer column of rock. You see him walk a good 5-15 minutes towards the base of this. He turns and kind of glances back, waves his stump at you, and attempts to climb this. Looking at it from here, you don't really see many handholds or footholds.
He's only got one hand.
Good God.
He is attempting to scrabble up this, and it is made very difficult by the fact that he is lacking a hand, but he is very determined. Every time he slides down awkwardly, and you could just imagine the sound of, wet flesh scraping down. He turns and he looks, and then he continues up again, just scrabbing furiously. You see this happen, and then it looks like he's starting to make it. You see him starting to just go up the side of the cliff.
Huh.
He is flailing his stump while he's doing this. He's also screaming.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
He
That's
seems
not
to
good.
be entangled in something that looks like a web. It's not his rope, it's a web. And he is being hauled up the side of the cliff. You're not sure.
Is the rope now secured by this web?
The rope is going up with the web.
I am not going up there, up the rope. So
Do you see? If I had given my grappling hooks, they would be lost to us now.
But he's our little guy.
Maybe,
Not
Gummy.
anymore.
maybe you ought not question.
now he's a gummy, you know, for something.
They're gonna gum on our gummy?
Yeah, they're gonna gum on our
That's-
gummy.
Pretty sure that's a sex thing.
Are any of you doing anything? Or are you watching this scene?
Watching in horror,
Okay.
can we see
Yeah.
what is pulling this web up?
If you look at the very top of the rock column, those little red things that kind of look like almost like toadstools, they're doing it. And as you kind of just look at it, you realize that no, there's little arms and legs. There's some type of thing wearing big red conical hats and red robes. They're not mushrooms at all. And
Aw.
you're starting to hear, even from this distance, this kind of this keening, high-pitched gibbering as they're just pulling up poor Champ Buddy Sport as he's flailing, and he just can't get out of this, whatever this webbing is with his stump.
You know what
and
happened? Here's what happened. Back in the day, there was a little television program named David the Gnome.
Yeah.
David got fired, and times got tough. David stayed hungry though. He just couldn't pay for his can of pork and beans anymore. And first he ate that fox he used to ride, and
Hold up. I've got
There
one
was-
for you. His bark is worse than this bite. Last episode,
I don't remember.
he turns into a tree. He
Yeah,
gets
David-
too old, and it's like a heart thing. It's like Swift the
Oh
Fox is
my
like,
god! I'm
crying.
glad I didn't see that. I would have.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
super
it
traumatic. It,
teaches
was very
children about
traumatizing.
yeah, no, really, it does. The gnome's like, oh, we're old enough. We're gonna go to the old gnomon place and just turn into trees, and like it's like this ends this happy kid's child story.
It absolutely was not an American show, and that
It
says
was
so
not.
much that it ended that way. That's wonderful.
If it was an American show, then this would be more
Yeah.
realistic, hyper violence. Because now, as
Yeah.
you've been waiting, you're seeing that poor Champ Buddy Sport is at the top of the cliff, and you hear the unmistakable sound of flesh being punctured by hard objects and just screaming and wailing. The worst thing is, whatever webbing and stuff they used, they could have gagged and really bound him, but they didn't. They let him like try to crawl, scampering away as they're
They're
just
like cats.
flaying him alive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're like cats.
Let's not go that way.
No. See, Champ Buddy Sports served his what's above a lieutenant? I don't know. I'm gonna be Admiral Crunch. He served Admiral Crunch loyally one last time.
I mean, he died
Um,
as he lived, having no idea what the hell is going on. So, yeah.
I'm so glad that I have his hook to remember him by.
That's right, the hook lives on. Yeah. You can have it engraved with a nice little portrait of him when we get into back.
No,
back
I'm gonna
to
sell it.
wherever. Okay. Works too, you know.
So, as you're
Well, fuck that place. I'm gonna try. I have like 150 odd feet of rope. I could try to climb the trees, although you said there's no handholds. I could make a go of it, but what else do we have surrounding us?
Well, as you are looking around and you've seen this grisly thing play out, and none of you have done anything to help. In fact,
None.
Greylock, you're almost watching with this entertained glee, and none of you are really giving voice to mirth or laughter, but you're hearing this rolling, uncomfortably warm laughter, very magnanimous. And you hear the sound of a blotting coming from a rock just behind you by the tree line.
I gotta go check that shit out. I'm just gonna book it at the rock where the applauding is coming from.
Yeah, it sounds like a party.
Yeah. Also, if they like our work, I mean, I'm happy to meet a fan. Our work of feeding a mind-wiped, one-handed poor sod, somebody's poor grandfather lost at sea, just feeding him to gnomes.
perched on this rock is a young boy who is wearing nothing at all except weird like wreath of leaves across his body. He is smeared with tree sap. He has some of it streaked across his face, almost in imitation of a war paint or maybe some type of sporting paint. He's got a set of panpipes by his side, and he is just rolling with laughter and gives you this broad ear-to-ear smile. And he goes, "Jolly good show, isn't it? Oh, I never get tired of it. Oh, it's wonderful. You're new here. Welcome."
Hi, naked kid. What's up?
I just come here for the show. So yes, welcome to my little island here. I'm Pan, and it's wonderful that you're all here. And he just looks at each of you, not breaking a smile, as he looks at all of you.
Don't trust him, guys. I don't say that out loud, but I'm like vibing it at them as hard as I can. Let's see what I've got. I want to make a gift to him. Let me see what I've got that he might like. I talk to Pan and I say, is it Lord Pan, Mr. Pan, or just Pan? Thank you very much for the welcome to this beautiful island with such good fun and games. I would like to give you a present if you would care for one. I would like to give you this shiny dagger, and I give him my dagger.
At first, he has almost a little bit like a vexing frown when you're trying to figure out his formal title, and he's almost about to say something. But when you mention that you want to give him a gift, the tips of his ears prick up with this smile, and he looks very excited, almost greedily at your gift. And he goes, "It's Pan, 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 Pan. But yes, show me this dagger."
And I pull it out with a flourish and polish it on my arm, and with great flair present it to him.
Oh, this is nice. Not as nice as my long knife,
Of
I
course
call,
not.
but this is nice. Oh, it's so nice to have some new people here that know how to be friends. I and he picks it up, and he flashes it in the sun. Um, in the distance, there's a little bit of like a warm breeze that's starting to blow through here. The more he's smiling, he's kind of fastening with a knife, and it whips through the trees. You hear things chittering and uh, kind of almost like making clacks and hoots somewhere in the far distance, as he's flashing his dagger. And he goes, "Well, this is wonderful. This is wonderful. You have fun here, and I'm sure that I will see you again." And he looks very fixated with this knife. He puts it in his teeth, and he runs scamper on hands and knees, and like almost looks like a four-legged thing, runs out into the woods. Um,
So,
you're
like
starting to hear the
on the
sound of like
reel,
thunk, like you're hearing the sound of like something being thrown into trees in the far distance.
he's practicing. On the reel, like when you first meet Peter Pan in the actual books in Kensington Garden, he is like quite literally that feral. It's amazing, and terrifying. Anyway, that's all.
All right, I'm gonna slap my little feet up and suggest that maybe we stop giving weapons to the strange beings we're meeting on the island.
That hasn't hurt us yet.
Here's a real tip for you at-home occult practitioners. Fell powers do enjoy gifts and respond well to flattery. That's tip from your. That's the more you fucking know when we get that graphic going.
Do we think I could charm person Pan?
Ooh, I
No.
wouldn't try it.
Ooh,
I don't
it's
think
rough.
I don't think he is a
If that
person.
misfires, I think it'd be really
What's-
bad too.
what's the worst that
Exactly,
could happen?
John.
I can also charm monster at 4th level.
I would think you would need like level 55 charm monster to out charm a essentially like multifaceted trickster deity. But
To be fair, Charles, this is you having read this adventure, not Charles, who was just given what appears to be a feral child a knife
Yeah.
Now,
hey,
without any proof of it being supernatural.
it's neither you nor Salt Lake County's business what I do in public parks on the weekend with my big crate of buck knives. Kids these days, it's everybody gets a trophy. Don't give them knives. Fucking,
I'm gonna
just
write it down
saying,
as a
no
maybe.
metagame.
well, no. So that's the fun thing, and I was going to mention this earlier. This isn't a set module as it is in the grand tradition of old D&D. It's a sandbox. So there's no real way that even if you wanted a metagame that Charles here would really know what I had in store. And a lot of it is reactionary based on your comments. So the fact now that you're here, you have just lost Champ Buddy Sport in a grisly fashion. You can, from here, you can attempt to put your boat back at the sea and get the heck out of here. You can explore these woods and see what's lurking within, maybe try to figure out why you're here. Or you can really kind of take this third path that goes up a bit towards those distant houses.
I'm gonna let these guys decide, but if we go into the woods, I would advise against it due to the clacking and hooting, and I think you said chittering, which
Yeah.
is like chittering is literally. Well, I guess it's a good sound if you own like guinea pigs, but other than that, it's never a good sound.
I advise not going into the woods because you gave a naked feral child a knife and he's throwing it around in there. So,
Which means he's our friend.
Yeah,
what happened to our last friend?
I can tell you
Saved
that
her life. We
Eaten
could
by
have gone up there.
gnomes, man.
I
Are
can
you-
tell you that when I give my daughter a weapon, her immediate reaction is to hit me with it, no matter what that weapon might be. Like that's just how kids be.
How
Yeah.
many weapons have you given her?
That hey, what I do in the Austin Point Parks is
Between
either-
Austin County and neither Austin County nor the I get it. Okay.
So what
I'm
you're
picking
saying is
up.
we need to get sponsored by a company that makes like crates of buck knives.
we need to get our Hungry Man buck knife crate for children sponsorship is all I'm saying.
Love it.
So-
Love it.
Might I just throw out here though? I've given my nieces and nephew a number of Nerf guns over the year. Not that my sisters care or appreciate it because they shoot things and throw them all over the house. But Nerf, if you want to sponsor us,
I would
Huh?
I would love to be sponsored by Nerf. I used to have I forget what those like 6-shooter Nerf guns are, but I had one of those. It was a lot of fun.
We could have prevented someone being flayed alive if only we had a Nerf, copyright. Gnome Blaster 9000.
If they,
Boy, how
if,
this adventure would have been different.
I would have stolen his hook if it was a Nerf hook.
Nerfs,
Like
call
with
us.
the suction cup on the very tip of the hook. I love that idea.
So you're sitting here debating where to go. And you can set some time for that, but you know that you're vulnerable out here on the coast, in your mud rock slimy beach that you've made with your boat. What are you planning? You're not even sure how long day is here, and you sure wouldn't want to be caught out unprotected at night.
Bridget, how are your little fish feet doing?
I mean, my fish feet hate the land. Clearly, I'd be better off like slithering around in the water right now. But I'm hesitant about the houses because we've seen what everything else is doing on this island. Do we really think the people who have chosen to live here are going to be any more hospitable?
So we should go in the water then.
I mean, that would be my preference. Slap, 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 slap.
I can cast water breathing at 3rd level. I'm
Holy
down.
shit, that's awesome! I wish I could do that. I don't even have a snorkel. Well, you two could break off and go on a little adventure of your own, and me and John could, I don't know, wrestle.
I will rob you blind the second we're alone.
Thanks for the heads up.
I just want to
Hey,
make
John,
it clear.
John, no metagaming.
Now, you could So Thalos, out of curiosity, it sounds like you were very literal about having flippers for feet.
I do have
Can
flippers.
you walk?
Yeah, I can walk. It's just
Okay.
it's noisy.
No, don't forget that. Surely you cured that man's wound across his head. Surely Poseidon hasn't abandoned you here.
No.
If you find yourself in a bad situation, I mean, you could always pray for intercession. You could pray for guidance from Poseidon.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Pray for Poseidon to take the island. Just take it completely. Just no.
And we all died.
We all
Oh,
died.
except for you, yeah. And
Yeah, I
Mr. But he can only water breathe for a while. So I don't know.
Can he cast on anyone else? He could take a friend with him, you know.
Ian, can I cast it on everyone else?
What? The water breathing?
Yeah.
Well, let's see how many times you can cast that.
I'm looking. I just don't see it immediately.
Give me just a second here. Ba-da-da-da-da.
He is referring
You,
to the
so
text.
you have at your current level, you have what, 2 iterations of that. Some of you actually might be having scrolls of that or potions of water breathing as an FYI. If you look closely at what has been provided,
Oh shit! So do I. Yeah,
just in case you want to reserve your spells.
I have. I have 2 instances of water breathing as well.
But at your current level, you can cast 2 third-level spells. And so what we have kind of prepared for, at least whoever you were before this memory wipe happened, you prepared Fireball and Water Breathing, so you get use each of those once.
Okay.
All right, so you've been sitting out here for some time without any type of...
I hesitate to use the water breathing here because it doesn't seem like there's anything especially cool right around here. But if we hop back in the boat and try for one of the other islands, maybe the one with the lush beach, we'll find some place that's nicer to go for a swim. I don't know.
So, one of you roll me a d12.
D12.
Yeah,
Do it.
just feeling lucky.
That's a
D12.
12.
The both
12.
of you roll a 12? Interesting. So, I love random tables because it makes things so interesting. So, as you are very much bickering among yourselves, trying to figure out what to do here and not making any decision, Thalos is sitting there with Thalos. Sorry, what are your pronouns?
I think Thalos is a he/him.
Okay. So he has his flippers in the water, just kind of feeling miserable and just down in the dumps of everything, wishing that you could just swim in the water. You notice that as the waves from your tail go out, they're starting to crash against other waves that are coming towards you. You can see something underneath the water moving towards you, almost playfully, almost curious to see your mermaid flippers. But on the rock and dressed in your odd outfit. Roll me 1d6. Will you, Thalos?
Mm-hmm. It's a 5.
It's a 5. Okay, so there are 5 mermaids that are just a little bit out of reach. You can see them not breaching the water because they're kind of making furtive glances at your land-based companions, but they're almost looking at you, and you can see one of them is like beckoning in the water for you to come in with them.
Ooh, but I can't breathe underwater. I'm more of an otter type, you know. I have to still need my air, so
You tell your compatriots about these mermaids?
yeah. Hey, bros, there's some mermaids in here. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. That's still one hand. We can all count that high.
When you say that, 4 of them dart down, and the one that was beckoning at you just kind of gives you a cross look, and then also dips down.
Shit.
Their flippers kick up that mud that you made, and it's made the water murky.
Wow, that was certainly sassy.
I guess they're just not into me.
I guess not.
Yeah, I'm gonna slap back a little bit because murky water, no bueno.
Are you anything else that you're doing? Or just
Well, the mermaids are gone, so I can't really speak to them. That's all I'm doing. I've got nothing right now.
as you turn and not paying much attention to the scene again, one of them pops back up at the surface, and you see that it has this almost like cherubic-like face, but as it opens its mouth, it opens almost like an anglerfish, and it lets out this absolutely shrill screech that just cuts the air like a knife. At first, it is painful, and it just cracks the air. But then it seems to almost condense into like a single honeyed note that just starts to fill you absolutely, Thalos, like the call of the sea. Make me a save versus spells check.
All right. It's a 9.
For you, I think that is sufficient. So that is. Oh no. So, Thalos, you feel this intense longing. You feel like you have been in the wrong body, that you should have been a mer person, and here your people are calling you. And as you look at this thing, it is the most beautiful creature you have ever seen in your life. It is beckoning you, and it has this beautiful skin and everything, and you're filled with just longing. And you are compelled to swim after it in the murky water.
All right. Oh gosh. Let's see. Can I
Well,
drink?
I'm gonna fling myself in after homeboy after casting my water breathing on myself. I think that's a scroll, isn't it? No.
Yes.
Yes.
Your
'Cause it's
water
in my
breathing is a
inventory.
scroll.
Yeah, so I'm gonna use one of those right now and just try and help out my companion there.
All right. So you enchant the words, and you feel your lungs double, and you get this weird sensation here, like a popping sound, as gills sprout behind your ears. And it's almost
Gross. Yeah.
disorienting to breathe normal air. So
Just like
roll-
Kevin Costner.
ended?
what?
Can scrolls be forcefully ended?
If you have an ability that negates it, so there are some spells like dispel magic or other things.
But scrolls are temporary, right?
Correct. Just like other spells, they last for so long.
The mud that the mermaids are kind of sliding onto, how long is that staying mud?
That is a good question. Let me look up the duration of your transmutation spell there.
Please do. I would like to trap some mermaids. If
That-
Oh,
possible.
that's a good idea.
That is a very interesting use here, and I like it.
Do it like at the end of Lord of Illusions.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. So,
Meanwhile, I'm digging through my spell scrolls. Like, who packed these?
Yeah, like I said, my large sack was just terribly packed. I'm joshing you, Ian.
no. This is all Wayne himself, out of his infinite generosity, made your pre-gen.
Oh, well, in that case, I double withdraw my comment.
I thought that's what you were
large
joking
sack
about.
was perfect and supple.
I have some complaints. Allow me to just start off.
I'm just
You
being
feel
pulled
that
towards the mermaid,
thunderstorms
pulling
are
out
beginning
create water.
to
Yeah.
coalesce above you. So you guys have been quibbling for a while, so you feel like the spell itself could be ending pretty soon.
You guys see Draven kind of get off the mud and get into the boat. He doesn't really say anything, but you see him pull the big hook that he took from our friend out of his coat and start tying a rope to it. He appears to be singing a song about going rock fishing.
Ooh.
I'm
So we're going to
rock.
basically, for sake of tracking actions, we're going to kind of do this in complete the rest of you giving it actions. This is kind of starting to almost borderline into initiative for combat. So you have cast water breathing. You're getting ready for your spell from transmute rock to mud to end. Right now, unfortunately, Thalos, you're enthralled with charm person. So you are just you're embracing your people. You're moving to embrace this mermaid. And it's going to be the best moment of your life. Nothing bad is going to come from this. Greylock, Greylock, did you cast water breathing, or was that you, Caligula?
That
That was
me.
Caligula.
That's
And
what I
it's
thought. All right, so Greylock, what are you doing?
Greylock, he's just kind of like he's in the boat. Thought about getting in the water, but it's the mermaids didn't seem into me, and well, I don't really know much else about my life anymore. So if they're not into me, I mean, I'm just gonna move on to see what's going on with this fish. Or is it a regular fish? Is it a lobster? Is it a rock lobster?
All right. So we're going to resolve this round robin. So we're going to have mermaids, and then I'm going to go in order of the. Oh, I could actually do an order of the screen since we've changed order now. So top initiative, you are, Thalos, being embraced by this mermaid. It is singing these honeyed words. You feel like you've known these words all along, as if it's singing your soul song, and it pulls you in, and you see that it sinks its teeth into you for a bite. It looks like it's got an anglerfish bite, and it takes a big chunk out of your shoulder. You see that it
nips you.
Absolutely. As it's getting a mouthful of flesh, you see that it's almost withering and pulling some energy from your bite, like your skin's beginning to wither just a bit. The other mermaids pop up out of the water, and you see that they are turning into these very gnarly creatures with long talons and teeth. Thalos, as you have been bitten by this thing, it breaks your spell-like compulsion, and you realize that you're kind of now wading out into this water and surrounded by murderous mermaids.
Am I above water? Am I below water?
You are about chest high.
Okay. Okay, so my thrall is broken now. Can I quickly I don't have much. I'm gonna drink a potion of giant strength just to get this rolling here.
So, all right. As you are seeing these mermaids close in, and you know that Draven, your spell is going to be ending, you're starting to see more things moving in the water coming your way. Coming in the distance, you're starting to hear something like racing through the woods. All the mermaids at the same time just extend their jaws and make this terrible song, and you hear and you've heard of stories about siren songs, like luring people to their deaths in horrible ways, and all of you are beginning to feel that you are being just washed with this terrible sound that just grips all of you. And then running through the woods, you see the flashing of some, like a bit of metal, and Pan comes running out as these mermaids are getting ready to rip you limb from limb, and shouts, "Oi! He's with them!" and points at you, Caligula, and he goes, leave my friends alone."
Yeah, I told you guys, giving children knives is cool.
The mermaids kiss and retract themselves back in the water. And Pans says, "You idiots, you're not fish. Come in the woods. Get off the beach.
Okay. First of all, I applaud wildly. Like I applaud like I've just seen like I don't know who's a badass act. Like I've just watched Charlton Heston like throw a man through a brick wall. Like that's how hard I'm applauding for this feral child.
So the scene begins to resolve itself where Pan ushers you into the woods away from these murderous mermaids, and you're able to remove yourself from the situation before the coast goes from mud back to solid rock, trapping you in a pretty nasty predicament. You're pretty sure that you hear the sound of at least one mermaid get ensnared somewhere and the sounds of furious struggle. But Pan pulls you into the woods and says, I've got things to show you in here. Do you want to come see my island?
Absolutely, is what I say.
Yeah, now I'm all in. Let's go. Like whatever this guy wants. Yeah.
I jump out of the boat.
All right.
I'm gonna start calling you Two Beards, Gray Fringe or whatever, because Two Beards I think is great.
They call me Gray Fringe Two Beards, and I count on my two beards. Yeah.
So he pulls you into the woods, and as soon as you get in underneath the canopy, it's almost as if you're in another place. The air is thick and heavy and has the scent of ancient woods, odd, almost exotic spices, and you can see that even though you just stepped into the tree line, it's almost that almost get a feeling of being instantly lost in the woods. There are weird sounds, and you can see a line of trees going deeper into the woods that just have like knife marks in it from where he's just taken gouges out. And he goes, well, this is this is my woods, and there are interesting things here for you to see. And I want you to bring me something that you've never found before. I want you to find me. And he starts to think and you can see like he's getting this weird smile, and he goes, bring me the best fruit you can find. And he giggles and he runs off.
Well, I'm personally very fond of passion fruit, but I don't know if that grows here.
I had a strawberry and mango margarita with chamoy last night, and it was delightful.
What's chamoy?
It is a like sweet Mexican syrup. And I would like to find out if those grow on trees. Fully blended.
Like the margarita itself. Like,
yes.
I don't think it would grow on a tree. I think you'd have to tap the tree,
Mhm.
and it would come out like syrup.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
Just to be clear, we're giving the feral child with the knife and margarita now.
No, the margarita's for me.
The naked feral child. Okay.
But the
I'm not
knife
one
works.
for. Not sure if you've caught this, Bridget. My character in this game is not much on giving.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, like okay, so looking around, do any of these spooky ass trees look remotely fruit bearing?
None of them do. In fact, when you look at them, there's mostly a lot of these are conifers and things that almost look like ash trees or beech trees. Like none of these are fruiting trees, and they're all kind of like sick. Some of them are sickly and give this kind of just. You get this odd feeling about the place. And whenever you turn and try to look for something different, it almost seems like things are changing around you.
Yeah, we've all been there.
Didn't one of you say that you had a something that could allow you to locate things?
Yep, I do. I have a locate object spell.
I bet that's pretty handy right now.
Sure. So, do we want to decide on a fruit we're looking for? Are we looking for our margarita?
Why not just locate the best fruit?
All right. So I will cast my locate object spell to find the, in quotation marks, best fruit.
All right.
It's going to point towards me. I am the best fruit. That's why I was raising my hand earlier, by the way. Sean's
I
a
was
good
curious.
fruit.
I was gonna.
Oh, I didn't.
ask
Okay, do you have a
exactly.
question? Yeah.
Nope, I'm a fruit.
It's
So
a 20.
you get this very odd feeling. Normally, when you cast this spell, you kind of get a very strong sense of the exact area you want to go. But it feels like you get this suggestion that you need to head in this, and you're not even sure where north is, but you think relative, maybe this is northeast, but you feel like it's ever so slightly moving. But you feel like there's something that fits that description, but it's moving and it's far in the distance.
Well, do we want to? Oh, I'm gonna assume that you share that with us.
Yeah, I'm pointing, and you can see my finger is moving as I point. I'm like, there it is. It's on the.
All right. Let's follow the pointing finger as quickly as we can.
All right.
To the northeast, through the woods.
As you start to go through the woods, you are struggling with this sense of perpetual disorientation. And you are getting this odd sense of like vertigo as well. But when you focus on the Nox marks that are in the trees, you start to notice that there is a path that is below your feet. Like it's almost look like it's a well-trampled path, but it almost seems to move and snake between the trees as if it's alive.
Well, let's continue to try and follow it.
Yeah.
As best we can, I suppose. If that's
So I'm assuming that path is kind of matching up with the direction I am.
That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah.
It is. When you start looking down at the path, it almost seems to notice that you're noticing it, and it almost seems to almost coil like it's like a shy snake. It almost seems unnerved that you're paying too much attention to it, and it's starting to veer away from where your locate spell is going.
Let's all avert our eyes.
Yeah. No need to look at the shy path.
Not pursuing a fruit.
We are not perceiving it.
As you act overtly nonchalant, the path begins to meander back in the correct direction, and you feel this odd like sigh of relief from the path. And as long as you're not paying attention to it, it seems to be helping guide you along. As you continue on this path for maybe half an hour, you're not exactly sure because time feels weird in here. You start to hear the sound of rushing water.
But before you do, by the way, guys, every so often in these quiet woods, you just hear like a little whip, whip, and that's my gills just like flapping away uselessly on the side of my neck.
See, that's what you could use your create water spell. Okay.
We're hearing water.
You hear water, and you think that you hear something in the distance, almost like whistling. One of you was whistling, but then you hear something almost like a jaunty whistle, as it's almost in the direction of where the locate object is. As you continue along, you see that the forest begins to get more vibrant and bright. It starts to lose that feeling of ancient, decrepit forest, and it starts to get almost into this vivacious, young, very active forest. And you see that there is a large, broad river that is opening up. It's almost thunderously roaring and babbling as if it is almost laughing as well. And you can see a raft going down this river.
Is there anyone on the raft?
It's kind of like one of those was it a skiff, or it was like it's got the small hut that's on it.
Oh, like a
So
pole barge. Yeah.
yeah, thank you. So it is going along. It is this kind of idly bobbing along with the pole of the river. This river is so wide that like 3 or 4 of these barges could be side by side at points, and you can see kind of meanders along.
Does the raft match up with the traveling fruit king?
It does.
All right, I'm into the water, and my gills aren't so useless now. Ha ha ha! And I'm gonna sneak up on the raft under the water.
All right. So you sneak under. What else are anything else you're wanting to do as far as interacting with the river, using this to your advantage?
Let's see. No. Although I will say that before I slip into the river, I'm gonna drain my potion of giant strength, and let's say that once I'm underneath that barge, I am just gonna straight up like lift that bad boy up and toss it ashore towards my compatriots, but not atop them.
Getting a lot of good Baron Munchausen imagery today. Like that. I feel
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
All right. With that amount of strength, you could certainly do that. You could hurl giant boulders with that. Throwing a barge would fit that. So you lift this barge up, and you hear a surprise scream from within the barge as you
I'm
pick
not
it up and
surprised.
throw it. And it crashes with a violent thunder. When you do that, you hear the sounds of snapping and screaming coming from within the boat.
Oh no.
You hear something about like, "Oh God, my legs!" and there's just this whimpering mule that is coming from in that.
Oh no. I got just the thing for this though, don't worry. Yeah, I'm going to okay, so do you guys want to approach the hut while I'm like strutting out of the river like a badass?
Yeah, I'm gonna rush over there and see if I can help.
It is hard to look like a badass when you're covered in leeches. You from your waist down, and there's probably one wriggling in a place that you don't want. But from the top up, you look like a badass.
Yeah. You know what? I think that leech skin pants are going to be in next season, so I think I'm just ahead of the curve, frankly.
So inside, this barge just got thrown. There's someone screaming in the pile of broken up lumber. You've wrecked some poor person's house, and they're screaming. What are the rest of you doing?
I'm rushing in to try to help because I still have secondary trauma from the loss of Champ. So
Absolutely. So when you start to try to pull these bits of wood and lumber apart, you see that there is a what looks to be like a young child, not the Pan figure, but a different boy who looks like his neck is snapped. Next to him, there is a what almost looks to be like a lion wearing a pirate suit, is screaming, and he's got a compound fracture in his leg, and he is just roaring in pain, and he's scrabbling furiously at this child who's just got just this crushed under lumber.
Should we give the child's corpse a knife?
Is the child is the child all the way dead or just broken necked?
So when you are looking at it, it looks like it's broken. Like the child's not breathing, and the line is just in terrible shape. He roars in anger at you, and is reaching for some type of scroll tube at his side.
I swing the hook on a rope at his head.
All right, so we can. This sounds odd to say. We could roll for initiative here because it's a person that's hapless versus all of you. That's not going to go very well in his favor.
Well, but I can raise dead. We can just bring that kid back with a snap.
Yeah, and then the kid's gonna be traumatized. Think about what you're doing. Let the kid die.
Think about everything we've done so far.
I've been letting
I
nature
have
take its
a-
course.
I
Yeah.
have a sneaking suspicion about what the sweetest fruit of all might be, and I
Is
think
it
it might
death?
be. No, I think it might be that child's heart. So I think we had to actually probably murder it anyway. But that's just a theory.
I am only trying to kill the lion man with a rusty hook tied to a rope because he was reaching for a weapon or a book.
He's trying to
Same
educate
difference.
us. Quick.
First of all,
Kill
I only
him.
heard
I ain't got no
lion
time for
dressed
it in
as
this
a
book
pirate.
learning.
I only heard
Alright.
lion dressed as a pirate. I didn't hear lion man. In my mind, it's a four-legged lion wearing human clothes, trying to paw at what we assume is a scroll.
So it's like when I was playing an alligator wearing sunglasses.
Yeah.
Still one of the best games we've ever played. Yeah.
All right. So we will handle this in round robin initiative to see if the order of operations of how this is going to happen, and knowing you murder hobos, how this is going to play out.
Well, those guys are on their own because I'm like plucking. I'm leech plucking for the moment. For the
All
nonce.
right. And of course, the lion rolls the lowest that he could possibly for his initiative. So, all right. So from taking this in my traditional round robin, that would put you up first, Raven. So you're pulling out your hook and intimidating him, or use.
Oh no, he reached for a weapon. I'm doing the thing.
I mean, he's trying to intimidate him to death.
Okay. So go ahead and make your attack roll. And
Let's see here. So is
And
that
it's going to be at advantage because he is very mortally wounded under some lumber with a
Where's my
compound
attack? There
fracture.
we go.
We love a fair fight here on Wandering Monster.
So am I rolling this against my dex?
No, so you're going to be doing this. So we're not using THACO. We're going to be using attack roll. So you're going to roll your d20, and you're going to
Right,
be.
but
Adding...
I don't have an attack for this weapon.
I see what you're saying as an improv. You're still going to use your base attack, which is a +2. So go ahead and just make me a
It's a 15 then.
15. Oh, I was looking at the wrong character sheet. Yes. So you throw your hook and it connects with the lion. He looks at you with these absolutely rage-filled eyes and he roars, spitting blood and
So I did
saliva
hook him?
across you. Oh, you did.
Okay, good.
Roll me damage. Well, I mean, if you're going to hook someone, they're going to scream in pain.
That's true. Where did I hook him and what damage do I roll?
So for the hook, I'm just going to treat that as a D4 for sake of convenience. And you have hooked him. You've hooked him in the arm.
Okay. What did you say for damage?
D4.
I was busy laughing at Bridget's killer joke in the chat.
What was
That's
it?
a 3. So Wayne was like, "Who are the real monsters in this place?" Which I responded with, "Well, the lion monster, obviously." But then Bridget came in with, "Well, capitalism."
Obviously, yeah, every time. Yeah.
Okay, I did 3 damage.
All right. 3 damage.
But I put him in even more of a disadvantage because now he's hooked on heroin.
And on the end of a big ass.
Yeah,
Alright.
also
Also on the hook, yes.
So
That would actually be a pretty good slogan. Don't get hooked on
the-
heroin or on the end of a big ass rusty chain.
I know what kids like.
Caligula,
Knives.
Yeah.
are you still leech picking, or are you going to be involved in this mess that you have made?
No, I wash my hands of this butchery. I'm quite serious about that.
I
feel
shouldn't be surprised. I just didn't expect someone to throw someone's house and be like, "That's not my problem."
I was gonna say, unfortunately, Charles, I don't know if you can wash your hands of this one.
But he's in a river, so he could. All right, so
You-
you are going to be spending your term or your turn making sure that leech doesn't go upstream.
I should help my friends. Hang on a second. What am I gonna do to this poor lion?
I wasn't going to do shit to him, and then he attacked us.
Possibly. Yeah, you know what? The hook is still stuck in him, isn't it?
Yeah, I am. I went lion fishing.
Because we could still fix this. I have a
Could fix this.
Yeah, I have a heal serious wounds, and our half mer person has a raise the dead.
Yeah.
You guys want to just fix this?
I can
Yeah.
monster.
Yeah,
I mean, is a lion a monster? Is it a man? Is it a lion?
It's
can
a
speak with
monster in
animals
this
we were
instance, I would say. So yeah, let's do this. All right, I'm gonna huddle up with my buddies. Here's the plan. First, Pashki charms monster to get it to calm the F down so we can get the hook out of its arm and apologize. Then I heal the lion while the half merman raises the child from the dead. How does that sound to everyone?
I
And
like the
John-
fact that like this is like a combat encounter, and you're like, wait,
But wait.
Well, I disarmed him.
no, I know. I'm just
Almost
We
literally.
Just to be clear.
And John, what you can do to help out is not steal anything or kill anyone while we're doing this.
Don't metagame. I'm stealing everything.
Okay. I think that's how we want to proceed.
Ian, I'm sending you a secret message, Ian.
oh no.
Hey, while they're
Oh, no.
busy, I'm stealing everything.
I was
But
actually like expecting like,
don't tell the others. I don't want them to know what's up.
all right. So
I guess I charm the monster / lion, and I don't go with my alternate plan.
well, okay, so if that's what you're doing, I need to make his saving throw if that's what you're doing.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just hey, everything's chaotic and I'm just double checking here.
to go up to the lion. Hey, buddy. Hey, Scooter. Hey, Beans. What's up?
All right.
You okay? I see you got a thing there. How you doing?
All right. So with your charm person, you could use this to for friendship. Give him a command. How are you using this in this case?
Hey.
He has failed the saving throw.
Hey, pal.
Um,
Look, we got off on the wrong paw here. You know,
I'd say
I-
charm probably is how that works, yeah.
we're gonna make this good, okay? Was that your little ward? Is that your buddy? Did you? Is that your lunch? I'm pointing at the dead child.
He just starts sobbing and he goes, "That was one of the lost boys."
Okay,
found
so
him.
Even more lost now.
I'm going to heal the lion, and at the same time, how about what's your character's name, Bridget?
Thalos.
Thalos H. Christ is going to raise the dead.
Yes, I'm going to raise this dead.
All right,
Maybe.
great. So you speak those words of life that Poseidon had breathed into the ocean and made it team with fish, and you breathe life at him, but nothing happens. The spell falls like ash on your tongue, as if you are disconnected from the plane of life, and this spell has no effect here. And you have this terrible feeling of absolute anguish and existential dread as you realize this spell doesn't work here.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
I gotta
So-
explain that to Beans.
Yeah.
Lie. Tell him it's working, but he has to sleep off the injury.
Beans, if the spell will work, but if you have to believe, so I need you to clap your paws, okay, Beans? Come on,
Question, have you
Beans.
taken the hook out of his arm yet?
So
I would, I would think that's part of heel serious injury.
The lion is watching all this play out with that confused feeling of being compelled to be friends with you, even though that underneath everything there is this some like loathing at his core, and he goes, just leave the child. He won't let things be dead for long here. It's just the suffering can never be avoided.
So who Beans? Who are you talking about?
Beans, even though like his leg is like badly damaged, he turns to
healed
try
him.
to look around. Oh, well, it's still sore. I mean,
Yeah.
Even though his leg is slightly sore, as though he did a little bit of a workout yesterday.
It
slightly
stings
sore.
a bit too.
He looks as if he is looking around to make sure he's not being heard. He just says, him.
Ooh.
And
Are you talking about the boy, Pan?
he winces a bit and he goes, and like he's thinking about his words, and then he chews on him for a little bit, and he goes, it's the king in yellow.
Cool. I'm just gonna smile. I'm gonna grin at that for a minute, because that's awesome. Let's see. Well, since we're not metagaming, I can't really like show him the yellow sign or anything. So,
So why have you destroyed my home?
we heard that there
Rats?
was we heard that there was a delicious fruit aboard.
It was the lion.
And he
The lion's a bear.
He points to a bucket that looks dented and smashed that smells vaguely sweet.
Oh God. Did we kill the fruit too?
I had
let's
some apples that I brought from the village.
Apples
My
Village.
friend and I
Okay.
were just going on a friendly leisure ride, and we were going to go all the way down and make our way all the way
You
down to
murdered
Pirate
us.
Cove, and now everything is a mess.
Well,
What a shame.
it is. It's a real shame that I had
He
to do
moves
that to
towards
your
his
life.
friend and he goes, don't worry, I'll find you. I'll find you. And he pats his head and like closes his eyes with like his big lion paw.
Creepy and sad. Yeah. Like, okay. Because I am a horror author, I do not have an excessive amount of empathy for fictional characters, regrettably, since I chop them up all day for a living. But I do slightly regret throwing their boat now. Yeah, I guess I learned something today, a moral
Wait,
lesson.
I've got something that I think might help. So
Is it fireworks?
the raft is smashed, right?
Yeah.
Would you say it's smashed into sticks?
Oh my God, no.
Yes. Yes.
No.
Here,
Say
I
it is.
take out my scroll and I hiss a few words, and the sticks turn into snakes and slither off into the woods.
Yes.
And then I clap the lion on the shoulder, and I'm there. You go.
All
All
right,
better.
Bridget, so roll me 2d6 because it's 2d6 worth of sticks get turned into snakes.
Sure, your house might be broken, but hey,
Two
now
and a
it's
four.
snakes.
Now
I
it's
hope
snakes.
you know that you're making Wayne cry. Somewhere off to the side, dear sweet gentle
Crying
Wayne.
tears of laughter.
Look, I have this snake scroll. I want to use it.
Yeah,
I fully
It
endorse
makes sense
this.
yeah. I
was
say
a
agreeing as my little gills go.
Oh, so I'm so sorry about your house. Now it's snakes.
All right, how many snakes did you say?
2 and 4.
My God, it's like Futurama. 2 snakes, you say? I hate all of you. All right.
This apartment may have been wreck controlled, but now it's snakes.
So the lion under compulsion sees this happen, and all he can say with a real real sad Miles.
Thank
Thanks. This has been a day. And you can hear muttering in his voice, and he's like, "This is another one of his terrible pranks.
you.
This is a hell that never ends." And
Bridget,
so
thank you
he looks
so
at Peter and he
much.
goes, "So what do you want? You're here. You've wrecked my home. You've turned my home to snakes."
That doesn't sound very grateful.
Got anything to eat?
How can we take these apples?
All right, so he hands you the smashed bucket, so you have applesauce in a tin can.
Let's just give that to Pan and see if he digs it.
So
Shit, how do we find him again?
that is a good question. Usually Pan finds you.
Yes, that is true.
So you have this bucket of fruit, and you have, I guess you're calling him Beans. He introduces himself as Ralph.
Beans.
So we've taken from him in order his domicile, his ward, his good leg, and now his name. Oh, and his fruit too. And his fruit. Yeah.
What are you talking? We gave him a better name. He no longer has to take care of that bratty kid.
That's-
Let's
And
not forget
you
about the
know,
snakes.
yeah.
we
steaks too,
remodeled
yeah.
his house for him. Positive spin here.
Remodeled.
All right, so
Hello, other
You-
beans.
You apologize to Beans for what you did right now.
all right. So, as you are on the river, and you've got your tin of smashed fruit, all of you start to hear something at the very edge of your hearing. It's faint, almost like an impression, almost as if it's like a slight tapping of air, and you start to feel it the more you start concentrating on it. There's a deep, ponderous ticking sound coming from deeper down the river.
I would advise that we move in a different vicinity.
Yeah, I may have lost my memories, but I remember like the crocodile nightmare with the ticking. I don't like that one.
I think we recovered that scrap, all of us, on when our minds kind of settled down, was yellow tatters and giant crocodile that was like absurdly big, like miles long, which awesome. But I don't want to get eaten. I've enjoyed dishing out pain today. I'm not particularly in the mood to take it.
But you did miss an opportunity to say miles of crocodile.
All right. So from here, you could go in different directions, kind of treating this like a traditional hex crawl. If you are not wanting to go in a certain direction, from here you can see that across the river there is a more beautiful forest that seems much more vibrant. As if the light going through the trees, this seems to give a little bit of a more magical sparkle to it. You feel like there's some almost kind of strong, some type of imperceptible energy that's kind of thrumming from the forest on the other side of the river. You can see beyond the forest, you see the beginnings of peaks of tall hills and small mountains from the landmass beyond the river. You could follow this river, how it meanders down towards that ominous ticking sound, or go in the direction of where the snakes fled, upriver, towards to where those homes that you first saw when you landed.
Oh, I just
Or
sent
you
the
can
snakes
get
towards
yourself
the
lost
homes.
back in the woods.
I think following the snakes is always a good idea. Snakes know where the party's at.
Snakes find a way, right? I
Mhm.
mean, that's
If we know one thing, we know that.
So you are following snakes upriver, it sounds like. All right.
We are.
So what do you do with your friend Beans? You have him follow along? Are you gathering information from him, or are you just letting him sit in what tattered, snakeless remains of his house is splintered across the shore?
Oh yeah, I'm having Beans give us the full tour. Like, tell me about that tree. What's going on with that rock over there? How long has this river been running? Where does the water source come from? Hey Beans, you're a tiger. Or you're a lion. You're a lion. Are lions indigenous to this island? Are we in Europe or Africa?
And you can start to hear him mutter under his breath, and he's like, death is no escape from this place. There is no leaving here. And he says that in between all of his honest attempts to answer every single one of those questions. When you ask him about something known as Europe, he looks very confused, and he still mutters about death as you go upstream. You can see, even though he's following all your commands faithfully, you see him looking in the woods very eagerly, like he's trying to look for something. And he says, so after a while, after you give him a pause, that he can actually talk, he says, so we're going upstream. And he goes, where exactly are we heading here? Are we going to be, you're wanting to see things? I can show you my village.
Yeah, sure. We were following your boat.
Yeah, your village would be great.
So, and he explains, so this place is strange, and the area that I'm from is the wilder beast woods. We are gentle folk, us. And he shows off his, this beautiful mane, and he goes, we are all animals, and we run a perfect society. Yes, it is a utopia, if you will, for all of our kind, and we are egalitarian. Even the ones that are more equal than others, we all are very fair, very fair, and share everything in our capitalistic system. Sometimes it feels a little feudal, but I'll show you. I'll show you around.
Hey, can I have that scroll you have?
Fuck off.
Right.
Hey Beans,
I've already taken it.
can I?
Oh, damn.
We need
Man,
to
I
have
was
a
gonna ask him
category
for the scroll.
best- We need a category for best NPC in this year's awards show.
Boys, I already got the scroll.
Yeah.
Well, he wouldn't give you the scroll if he had a choice. So you advance upriver, and you see that he knows exactly how to navigate the strange meandering forest. By clinging to the very side of the river here and walking upstream, you're able to really track your position, and you're just on the very edge of that disorienting magic. At one point, he even has you crouch and hide behind a rock as you see these weird blue wolves in the distance skulk out of view. And he warns you about the unenlightened beasts that don't share the values of their community. You see, he kind of just, his teeth, his fangs bare just a little bit when he mentions that. After a while, you come to the very edges of where this forest transitions, and you start to get into hills that very quickly go into mountains, like little peaks. And you can see nestled in between these peaks are various homes, like as if they're built out of different material, almost at different times, or different architecture, as a mishmash of various things. And he says that these are the wildebeest woods. We are ruled over by the great lion, Moro, my brother, king of all the beasts and animals in this land.
We fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
And we keep to ourselves because our neighbors, whom surely we've come from the northwest, you've run into them, our red-cloaked little companions, they like to keep to themselves. So we have our own company here, where we try to live out our lives as normally and perfectly as possible. In the distance, you can see pushing a wheelbarrow is a rabbit in a top hat who is busily collecting rocks off of the road.
A capitalist utopia, you say?
With
Rabbit in a
royalty.
top hat.
You say?
Are you challenging him in this on this contradiction of systems, or are you
No,
saying that
I'm
as
just
a
musing.
respectful?
I'm saying it in a musing tone. And then I say, so if you guys keep to yourselves with your perfect system, how did you get to know the lost boy who is so unfortunately, if temporarily, deceased?
He looks very sad for a second, and he looks over his shoulder again, and he pulls out a pocket watch. Not yet. Yeah. He was a. Well, you can't not know the Lost Boys. They're everywhere, as long as you don't run into the long Lost Boys. But that's a different story. You see, they live on the other side of the river, and they. It's an interesting ballet that they have. How they push the boundaries of this place. They're truly almost the spirit of this place. I would never trust them if I were you. And my friend, if I treat him as almost my own son. And in fact, I almost feel like his father in ways, but he's the only one that I would trust. And he tells me all the going ons that's happening there in their great tree home and the odd things that happen out there in the woods. There's something strange about the Neverwood, or about the their land. It is. It's beautiful but dark. I wouldn't go there without a guide. Neverland Island is the very heart of this place, you see.
I'm starting to think that murdering a child by throwing a boat was probably not my best move of the evening.
I would concur. He looks at you sourly. But should I introduce you to my brother and everyone else in this village?
I think we're about to get snacked on, guys.
I'm going to go over to the side of the road and use Namok's scroll of speaking to plants.
All right.
To say like, hey, random tree, what are the chances these guys are just gonna eat us immediately? What do you think? If you were a betting oak.
You were a betting oak. So when you cast that spell, there's this sound of the wood creaking and groaning as it contorts, and it makes itself like a mouth of semblance.
Mm-hmm.
And it stops and almost to think itself, and it scratches itself with one of its branches and says, well, that's a good question.
I tend to ask those.
I'd say it's, well, we all have heard what happened in the woods. I felt it in my roots. If maybe you didn't crush that boy, I'd say you'd probably be welcomed here, but you had to go and crush the boy.
All right. I say thank you, and I look back at my group that has kept walking. It's probably fine. And I'm going to slowly back off and disappear into the woods while they follow Beans.
I'm going to start cracking open my wineskins because I already see where this is going. So I'm just like...
Yeah, I'm abandoning party.
All right. Teamwork at its finest.
We're working as
By
a
the
unit
way,
here at Walmart.
I have stolen as many scrolls as I can carry from these chumps.
Go ahead and make me a move silently check there as you detach yourself, Draven, just to make sure that you don't fumble. You have a 75% chance of making this, but...
And I'm trying to roll under my agility.
No, so you're doing a D percentile. So thief skills are done as percentile dice. So you're wanting to get yourself 75% or
Okay, I gotcha. Okay, that is a 36 then.
All right. Yeah. So you slink into the shadows.
And as I'm sure Thalos catches me, because again, he knows what's up. I like finger guns at him as I disappear into the shadows.
I mean, I'm not leaving. I'm just drinking. So yeah.
All right.
And not to cut the festivities short before the
yes, we are. We are
cannibal
at time
feast, but
here.
we're at time. Yeah.
Thank you for catching that. I was
No
very much
problem.
distracted by the trees. So you have a bucket of applesauce and are about to walk into the animal village, and you still don't know exactly why you're here. And hopefully, if any of you survive, you will keep exploring this strange island and learn its many secrets.
And as a fun exercise for our viewers at home, I will calculate all the crimes I committed tonight and see what the cumulative jail time would have been.
I think we all learned important lessons tonight. I think that
Yeah. So we're gonna move into our after show. Obviously, this has been Pan, His Majesty in Yellow by Wayne, who also did Dungeon Plumbers, which was a game we played last year. That was a lot of fun. I know that I backed this, and Charles backed this as well. I don't know about the rest of these chumps.
Out, right?
We do. We're going to make the announcements first, and then you stick around, you get the code. We do have a giveaway. Just a few housekeeping things on our path there. As you know, we are going to be involved in Zine Quest. Specifically, Mr. Servas and I have various projects popping up. I am going to be a stretch goal writer on a couple of projects, and I am the lead word designer for a game called Odd Gobs, which is pre-launching right now on Kickstarter. I also we didn't make a big deal of this because we weren't here, but last Saturday was my birthday, and as part of this celebration, I released a new book, Ibiranu the Fleshcrafter, Children of the Gods. That is available on Amazon, on Godless. If you come to my house with a knife and give me that knife, then I will be forced, frankly, to hand you the book.
To give it to a child.
Yeah. So
as one does.
That's so new book. It's fantasy, fantasy and body horror, heavily inspired by like Conan the Barbarian style comics. Ibiranu is my Amon Thule. So it was a lot of fun to write. We are also going to be following up with some leads for randomly generated encounters, the show where I interview various creators. No, I didn't forget about it. We were just busy. So all of that is stuff for you to look forward to. Bridget has a release this month, next week. So we'll tell you again, but it's Wednesday next week. So next time you look at her face, you could also have her book. It's called That's What I Call Horror. And it's an anthology. She's in there. Ian ordered it. So if you didn't order it, you're mean.
Yeah.
And you should buy it.
I'll throw a boat at you if you don't.
It's true. Bridget also has a reading this Saturday. You can go to her website, bdbrave.com, for more info. I'm going to strive to get her bio and her links up on our website, onemoncast.com, this week, so you can find it there. onemoncast.com has this show. It has reviews, PDF reviews from Charles, and physical reviews from me. It also has our calendar. It has links to all of our stuff, so you can find the latest and greatest bullshit you want to find. I want to give a big shout out to Bog Wizard. Our intro and outro music is Barbaria from Miasmic Purple Smoke. I just got that album on vinyl delivered to my house. It's incredible. support Bog Wizard because they do cool shit and they are awesome. So with all that said, I'm gonna hit this button. It's going to roll, and if your name comes up, I just need to see you say here in the chat, and we will get you a wonderful code for the Pan His Majesty in Yellow PDF. Here we go. Oh, Judas Lynch. I thought I was going to announce it in chat. Judas. Judah, 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 Judah. I don't know if there's a... oh, there is. You're hearing this seconds after I say it. So if you'll confirm that... oh, he already has a copy. That's okay. I'm going to roll again then. That's a wonderful thing. Aha.
That is. That's really cool.
Shangers?
Oh,
Shangers.
woo. That's Shangers. That's my husband.
Ah,
Oh, how about that?
Hey.
Sean, the husband of Bridget. You have
Made a little
won.
appearance a while ago. Yeah,
See, there are dividends for giving up your spouse for one night a week.
really, really.
Yeah, not. I mean, like, look.
And or dividends for marrying or dating one of our cast members.
Do not date me. You will be in much danger.
Don't date me. My wife would be very upset.
Yeah, that's the danger I'm talking about. Is my
Wait a
wife.
minute. So, Ian, you're not married, right?
No,
Okay, so I'm not the only unmarried. Okay, otherwise I'd be a little freaked out.
You can either date Charles,
I
or
wouldn't.
you can get into a throuple with Ian,
Yeah.
or you could date a AI that you like put a fake beard on and pretend it's either me or Mr. Patchkey. The choice is yours. However, the winner this evening is Mr. Sean Jers. Thank you so much. We've had a blast tonight, and we want to thank you, the listener, for joining us on this consensual journey we call Wandering Monster. My name is John Baltusberger.
I am Charles R. Bernard.
Ian Servas.
And I'm Bridget Brave.
And I'm Mr. Pashke.
And this has been Wandering Monster, America's Test Table. We will be back next week for more chaos and hopefully less murder. Have a great week, everyone.
Bye.